Welcome to Life with Ajene. I'm Ajene, and today I'm going to be talking about how to start your own business. So, a little context, I started my own business in December of 2024. Realistically, I've been already doing the work of my business for about 2 years prior, but I formally started my business and filed for my LLC in December of 2024. And I'm in the early stages of formally running my business. So I wanted to just go ahead and give you all some tips on how to do so, because I see a lot of different YouTube videos and things of that nature, and even advertisements about start your LLC. Don't worry about it, pay us, we'll do everything for you. Don't worry about that pesky paperwork, things of that nature. And so I just wanted to kind of give them some insight on the process and how you can do things on your own and not pay people if you're willing to do the work, the groundwork, the research. So, a little bit on that. First of all, I have my own consulting business. It's called Robbie Fix Consulting. And what we do is we consult for nonprofits and other organizations that have a focus on health, equity, or a combination of the two. And what my business does is we consult in terms of grant writing, structure building, fundraising, and education. And I do different educational trainings and workshops and things of that nature. Now, like I said, I'd already been doing this work for about a couple of years before I actually started my business, but I decided to formally form an LLC for protections and just to go ahead and get that on the ground, because this is something that I see myself continuing to do over time. Now, in terms of starting your own business and the process of doing that, one really helpful resource for me was this guide. It's called The Guide to Starting and Operating a Small Business, and it's something that's available for free on the internet by the Michigan Small Business Development Center. Again, that's the Michigan Small Business Development Center. And they have a whole manual, and that's a guide to how to start your own business. And I thought that was just such an amazing resource. And although this is a particular guide to Michigan, I think wherever you are in the country, you can pull this up and look at this in terms of getting a basis of an idea for how to start your business wherever you are, because there's guided information here on things like creating a business plan, what are the things you need to research for that, the differences between things like an LLC, an S corporation, a sole proprietorship. They define all of these things for you and give you a basic understanding of where to start with the whole process of building your business. And I thought that was amazing. Shout out to Michigan for having something that's such a helpful resource for people interested in starting their own business and being so supportive for people who want to start their own business. Because it's here, I'm really curious to see if it's in other states. So I recommend not only checking this one out, but also checking if you're in a different state to see if your state has anything for small businesses and small business interests and small business owners. Do they have a center, a governmental agency dedicated to that? If so, do they have something like this for your state specifically? Because obviously, if there's something available for free for your state that you're in and you want to do business in, you should check that out. But yeah, as for Michigan, there's this guide to starting and operating small business that's published by the Michigan Small Business Development Center. And the Michigan Small Business Development Center also has resources in terms of free consultations available for certain things and a bunch of other resources for people who have small businesses. So I think that's amazing. Definitely check that out, especially if you're in the state of Michigan. But if you're not in the state of Michigan, check and see if your state has anything like that. And even if they don't, check and see what still might be helpful here, because this exists. I'm telling you, this exists, and it might be helpful to get you on your first steps and get started. Now, all of that being said, I want to have a disclaimer here. I'm not an attorney. I'm gonna be one day. But even though there are these free resources online, and even though you can get this thing started on your own, I still recommend talking to an attorney at some point in the early stages of building your business. Why? Because there's certain legal things that it's really good to just touch in with an expert, specifically a business law attorney. Just check in with them and see and make sure you're doing things correctly. When you're coming up with your first contracts, set up a meeting. Talk over those contracts with an attorney. Make sure that you're using the right things. Make sure you don't have any funky language in there that's not helpful for you legally. Most people are not gonna do the research. They're not. And even if you do the research, you might not know if you're doing the right research. So I think that it's just always best to keep in mind to talk to an expert, talk to an attorney, maybe talk to an accountant, tax expert. Maybe the attorney already has those things within their law firm that you can talk to. I know in my case, setting up a meeting with an attorney just to go over things that I've already done research for and just double check those things. So yes, and what's really cool is attorneys now, some of them have subscriptions, just like every other service out here today has subscription services. So you can pay monthly fee at a reasonable price. Like, I think I saw some attorneys, it's like $40, $50 a month to pay them and then get consultations. I think it's more reasonable, probably expect something around like $100 a month to just have an attorney that you can go and talk to about your basic questions of things. So I think it's just worth the investment. If you're putting in the investment of building a business and putting your name on the line, putting your reputation on the line, putting your hours and energy on the line, it's worth it to protect that with an expert. All right, that's my little note. Back to my helpful resources and knowing how to start your business. So yeah, there's a guide here. Helps you build a business plan, know how to do that research, talking about filing your information with different governmental agencies, this, that, and the third. It's amazing. So I looked over that resource, and then after I looked over that resource, I determined that the best thing for me would be an LLC. It was actually after looking at that resource and looking at a few other things as well. But for me, I determined right now, I think the best structure for my business is an LLC. So the next step was to file for my LLC. And in terms of filing for my LLC, I went and did that with LARA, which is an organization that is the Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs. Licensing and Regulatory Affairs, LARA. And for the state of Michigan, that's just who you file with. It was $50 to send in my information and to officially have my LLC on file with the state. $50. It's the only money I had spent so far. And then after that, I applied for my EIN. And your EIN is basically, I want to say a registration number of sorts, but I'm just going to say a number that the government uses to recognize your business. That's not your social security number, right? It's a number specifically for your business that you register with the government. And you get that number by going to the irs.gov. So there's all these businesses that'll be like, pay us a couple $100, we'll handle it for you. And really, you could just spend $50 out of your own pocket to really get this process started. So yes, it was $50 to file for my LLC with LARA. This might be a different price for you if you're in a different state. And then with the IRS, you go to irs.gov, you apply for your EIN. And all the instructions are there. I'll post a link in the description box below so that you have the links to both a resource for the state of Michigan guide to start a small business and also for the irs.gov website to apply for your EIN number. All of the information is there on what to do, how to file, how to report to FinCEN and when it's required, like all these things to get the just basic information down and get your name started there. So that's in terms of how to get your business registered, going with the state and with the federal government. Now, next steps that I'm just gonna talk about today. There's plenty of other steps actually that I can talk about, but I'm gonna keep this simple. The next thing I wanna talk about is your website. So first step is buying your domain name. You can do this on a bunch of different sites. The one that I used was Namecheap, and Namecheap is something that I use because it's in alignment with Google and Google Sites. That's what I went, that's the route that I took. There's plenty of other websites that you can use to build your website and do what you want. But for me, Google Sites was great because it came free. And also, if you choose to use Google Suite for your business, right, it all syncs up. So that felt like the best option for me. So I went ahead and bought my domain name through Namecheap and I synced that up with Google Sites and I built my own website from scratch. My own two hands. Nothing too fancy either because I have a consulting business. Yeah, so honestly, I did everything with my own two hands and built this from the ground up with my own research, with my own time and energy. and with the consultation of professionals as I go along the process. So really, you know, these are the fundamental steps into getting your own business started. So just know you don't have to pay these companies hundreds of dollars to just file paperwork for you. You can really file that paperwork for yourself. I think where the money needs to be spent in the process of building your business is with the experts that make sure that your butt is covered legally. Is there any special licenses that you have to file for because of your business and what kind of business it is? What are those licenses? What is the process? Should you file those for yourself? Can you file those yourself, or are you gonna have to have somebody actually file that for you? And if you do, attorney could be great, or maybe there's something where you can get a more reasonably priced option. But you need to talk to an expert along the way to make sure you cover your behind. CYB, cover your butt, okay? So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I just wanted to talk about those fundamental steps because I'm tired of seeing these ads like, oh, we'll file for you with the LLC and we'll go ahead and file for that pesky IN number. It doesn't take that much. It really doesn't. And of course, I am speaking specifically for the state of Michigan. Could be more complicated in other places, but it doesn't take that much. And my only other note to make is that when you are filing for your LLC, if that's something that you're filing for specifically, you want to make sure that there's no specific kind of articles that you need to incorporate within your LLC application. There's special sections on there that talk about if there's any other specific articles of organization that are relevant to your business, which is, again, this is a place where you might want to talk to an expert or just dig deeper, do a little bit of extra research. So yeah, that's it. The first steps are easy. Now, growing your business, maintaining your business, keeping track of your finances, especially for taxes and making sure that you're doing the best for yourself on taxes, that's where things get complicated. Keeping up with your money, keeping up with your clients, things of that nature. So yeah, these first steps are pretty great and easy, but continuing after that can be complicated and pesky. Oh, you know what? I also want to talk about the fact that there's these like scammy companies that might start sending you mail along the way. I got a couple of letters. If I can find one around here, I will definitely like put it over here or just cover my face so that you can see an example of what that looks like. But there were 2 letters that I received for these companies that said, oh, as a business owner, you now have to have, your certificate of good standing, and you have to have this work regulation poster posted in your place of business. And these are the deadlines. You need to send us $85, $100 by this deadline to make sure that you are straight. But then you look a little bit closer into the letter, they'll have this disclaimer on the bottom that says, this is not a government agency. You do not have to purchase anything from this company. It might be on the envelope, but the way that the letter is shaped and framed, it makes it seem like it is official, important business. You have to do it, like you need to do it. So I just want to say be wary. And that's another time where it's just good to check in with an expert if you find that you're not really the type of person to like do well with checking up on those types of things or protecting yourself with those types of things. Just ask the expert. The expert's gonna tell you everything that you actually need to do and actually need to know in terms of filing for that business and making sure that you're in compliance with the things you need to be in compliance with. So, yeah, that's it. Hopefully this helps some people. Good luck on your business journeys. If you have a business that you just got started, share down below, promote yourself. And yeah, good luck on your journeys, everybody. Wish me luck on mine. I feel good about my business though. Hey, if you have anybody who needs assistance with their nonprofit or their organization, and it has a focus on equity, health, or a combination of the two in some sort, send them to Robbie Fix Consulting LLC. I'm doing the work. So that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.